Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're putting together a field guide for PineScript version 6 operators. We're going to focus on the really critical breaking changes that can sneakily break your trading scripts if you're not paying attention. You see, the move to PineScript v6 wasn't just about adding a few new features. It actually changed how some of the most basic operators worked at their core. We're going to break down the 3 biggest changes that every trader and developer absolutely needs to know to avoid those silent, hard-to-find bugs in their code. So first, let's make sure we're all on the same page. Think of operators as the verbs of PineScript. They are the absolute core of any script you write, those special symbols that let you turn a stream of raw market data into actual actionable trading signals. Without them, you've just got a bunch of numbers on a screen. All right, let's kick things off with the tools you probably use every single day, the arithmetic operators. These are the real workhorses that handle all the basic math in your scripts, from figuring out an average price to calculating your risk-reward. Okay, so looking at this, you're probably thinking, yeah, I know these, but here's the kicker. What's really important here is that one of these fundamental operators behaves completely differently in version 6, and that's our first major danger zone. Now, this change might seem tiny, but trust me, its ripple effect can be massive. It can quietly change everything from your position sizing to the values of your custom indicators, all without ever throwing an error. So here it is, plain and simple. Back in v5, if you divided one whole number by another, you got a whole number back. 1 divided by 2 was 0, period. But now in v6, PineScript keeps the decimal, so 1 divided by 2 is now 0.5. If your strategy was counting on that old behavior, you're going to have to update your code to get the same results. All right, next up are the comparison operators. The best way to think about these guys is as your script's compass. They help you navigate the market by asking really simple true or false questions, like, hey, is the price right now above the moving average? So what these operators do is look at 2 values and tell you how they relate. And the answer is always super simple. It's either true or it's false. That simple yes or no answer is the foundation for every decision your code makes. And that actually leads us perfectly into our second big change in v6. And honestly, this one's a lifesaver. It cleans up your logic and gets rid of a whole class of really frustrating bugs we used to see back in v5. I mean, this is a huge win for anyone writing scripts. See, in the old days, a condition could be true, false, or this weird third thing, nah, not available. And that nah could wreak havoc on your logic. Now in v6, things are black and white. It's either true or false. No in between. That makes your code way more predictable and so much easier to debug. Okay, so let's put the pieces together. We know how to do math, and we know how to ask true or false questions. Now we're going to combine those simple checks into really powerful, complex trading strategies. And to do that, we need logical operators. This is really where the magic happens. With and or, you can chain multiple conditions together to create that perfect entry signal. You know, something that only triggers when the RSI is overbought and the price has just crossed below a key moving average. So this quote, it's talking about a new behavior in PineScript v6. It was actually designed to make things faster, but whoa, does it introduce a subtle and really dangerous trap for developers who aren't ready for it. Seriously, this is the big one. Basically, PineScript v6 got a little lazy. It's called short-circuiting. If you have an and statement and the first part is false, well, Pine already knows the whole thing has to be false, right? So it just stops. It doesn't even bother looking at the second part. It's efficient, but it has a dangerous side effect. So you might be thinking, okay, that sounds efficient. What's the problem? Well, the problem is when you mix a condition check with a function call, because that function, it might never even get a chance to run. This is where perfectly good logic can lead to completely broken indicator values, and you won't get any warning. This is the perfect example of that danger in action. Imagine you have this condition. First, Pine checks is uptrend. Let's say it's false. Boom. The whole expression is false, so Pine stops right there. And here's the trap. The RSI function, it never gets called on that bar. And that's a disaster. Why? Because functions like RSI or an EMA, they have a memory. They need to run on every single bar to keep their history straight. If you skip a bar, the history gets corrupted, and suddenly your script is making decisions based on complete garbage. Okay, deep breath, The fix for this is actually really simple, but you have to do it. It's non-negotiable. You always calculate your indicators on their own line first. Store that value in a variable. Then, and only then, do you use that variable in your and or logic. That way, you guarantee the indicator gets calculated on every single bar and its history stays pure. All right, we've navigated the big traps. So to round things out, let's quickly cover the rules of the road. Understanding how PineScript prioritizes operators, plus a few key shortcuts, will help you write much cleaner code and avoid logic errors from the get-go. So PineScript has a very specific pecking order for how it handles operators. But honestly, here's the real pro tip. Forget trying to memorize this table. Just use parentheses. Seriously, wrap your expressions in parentheses to make it absolutely crystal clear what you want to happen first. It'll save you from so many headaches and makes your code 1,000 times easier to read. And last but not least, let's talk about a super useful shortcut, the ternary operator. This little gem is your best friend for writing really clean code. It's basically a compact if-else statement that fits on one line. It's perfect for stuff like, hey, if the close is above the open, make the bar green. Otherwise, make it red. Super clean, super efficient. All right, let's wrap all this up with your V6 action plan. These are the 3 key things you need to remember to successfully navigate all the changes in PineScript V6 and make your scripts more robust than ever. So let's recap the survival guide. Number 1, watch out for integer division. Remember, 1 divided by 2 is now 0.5, not 0. Number 2, celebrate the fact that booleans are just true or false now. Your logic is cleaner for it. And number 3, the most critical one, protect your history. Always calculate stateful functions like RSI on their own line before you use them in a logical check.
So now, it's your turn. Armed with all of this, go take a fresh look at your own scripts. Did that tiny division change mess up your position sizing algorithm? Is it possible that short-circuiting is quietly corrupting your favorite indicator? Getting these fundamentals right, that is the key to building strategies that are not just powerful but actually reliable on TradingView.